Good morning. Feel like a unicorn right now. I apologize for the sound quality for yesterday. I checked my AirPods this morning. I hope the sound is better. Definitely want to make sure that clanging up against my earrings, so I will make note of that. Today is day 26, and yeah, I feel like I have a little bit to say, but I'm gonna still keep it brief. Day 26 is statement 6. My inner supply instantly and constantly takes on form and experience according to my needs and desires. And as the principle of supply and action, it is impossible for me to have any needs or unfulfilled desires. My inner supply instantly and constantly takes on form and experience according to my needs and desires. And as the principle of supply and action, it is impossible for me to have any needs or unfulfilled desires. So, breaking down this statement a little bit, basically, let me look at it again because it kind of just flew out of my head what I wanted to say. So, if your inner supply is instantly and constantly taking on the form and experience according to your needs and desires, and if you are tapped into that power, and if you are clear on the fact that you are walking lavish abundance in human form, then there are no needs or unfulfilled desires. Everything that you need, everything that you desire is right here with you now. It's not later in the future somewhere. It's not something you've already had and can't have again. When you are tapped into and understand that this power moves through you, there is no need or desire. That there's nothing that's unfulfilled in your life. So let me tie this into power. And with great power comes great responsibility. When you understand that you are the walking embodiment of divine source energy, you begin to understand the magnitude of your power as a human being. This is what all of the religious texts came to show us, to teach us, to guide us in unleashing and becoming within ourselves. Remember, we were made in their image. Remember, we have this power to create our lives once we are tapped in and understand that we are infinite source energy just housed in a human body. But understanding that power is not enough, and tapping into it and using it is not enough. You must also be responsible for this energy. Each of us has our own signature. Each of us has our own individual vibrating signature. No one, and I've said this before, no one is like the other. That's why we all have individual fingerprints. Sorry for the sun. That's why we all have individual fingerprints. Your energetic signature is different from mine. Even if you were talking about sex and money and relationships, it's still going to be a different energetic signature than me talking about sex and money and relationships. Part of this journey of being human is not only learning and understanding and knowing that you have this power, that you are this power, but it's also being responsible for the use of this power. And to be honest, a lot of people don't want to be responsible. A lot of people don't want to be responsible for their power. They don't want to be responsible for their lives. We have been taught, especially if you've gone through the United States public school system, that you don't know anything. You don't know anything unless someone tells you what to do. We are taught through many of our parents, we don't know anything unless they give it to us. We are taught to ignore the innate knowledge, learning, and understanding that came with us into this realm. Your soul didn't come here as a blank slate. You came here with knowledge already embedded in you, but we are taught in our society that we can't possibly know as much about ourselves as somebody else. The teacher knows more, the doctor knows more. Everybody else knows more than we do. And so we learn to give up our power. We learn not to feel confident in our own bodies and decisions. And this goes across the board with any decision we decide to make. So when my children were younger, I decided I was going to homeschool them. First person in my family to do so. My family thought I was crazy. How could I do this? I wasn't a teacher, though are not mothers the first teachers of children? I didn't have any credentials, though there are unfortunately teachers with credentials can't teach. But because I wasn't considered an expert or hadn't had the education or gone to school to learn how to teach, there was no way possible I could teach my own children. But yet, isn't it my job to teach my children? But I somehow, that meant that I couldn't teach them kindergarten math. I did it anyway, because obviously I'm not the type of person to do what everybody else says I should do. I listened to me. I listened to my soul, to my spirit. I listened to it, even if it meant going against what everyone else thought I was supposed to be doing, because I trusted the knowledge of my soul. I didn't come here a blank slate. You didn't come here a blank slate. But with that power comes great responsibility. So if I agreed to homeschool my children, that also meant I needed to be responsible for making sure that they had what they needed. Now, there's some people who don't want that responsibility. There's some people who have kids and don't even want to be around them, much less teach them anything. So what do? They give the responsibility to someone else. And this is not a judgment. No, this is an understanding of human behavior. They give the responsibility to someone else. There are people who would like to homeschool, but they give the responsibility to someone else because they're like, I can't do that. I'm not qualified. And I'm using this as an example, but this goes for anything. I want to work for myself. I can't do that. I'm supposed to go out and get a job. I have an ache in my body, but the doctor says it's okay, but I know it's there and it's nagging me, but the doctor said it's okay, so it's fine. And then years later, and finds out I was right. There was this thing brewing inside of me, but I was listening to the doctor because the doctor's the expert. I can't possibly be the expert on my own body. We hand the power off to someone else because with great power comes great responsibility. And being responsible also means that there's no one else to blame. So that means that we would have to stop being victims. We would have to stop being victimized by our own lives. We would have to look and say, damn, I fucked that up. I guess I didn't know. Maybe I need to learn a little bit more. But it's a lot easier for us to say, well, you did it. It was your job and you dropped the ball. So, and I was following you. So, you know, it's not on me. If you're truly desiring to build wealth, if you're truly desiring to live an abundant life, that means you are understanding that you are the walking embodiment of this God, Christ, source energy consciousness. That this is not just that you're a human, but you're the walking embodiment of this power. And if you're the walking embodiment of this power, that means that ultimately you have great power. And if you have great power, that means you have great responsibility. No one's coming to save you. No one's just coming to give you money. No one's coming to give you better health. It means you doing your own research. I've got an ache in my body, not just going to fucking WebMD. I've got an ache in my body. What does this mean? Let me look at some books. Let me look at some alternative medicine books. Let me really see what's happening here. Let me notice the times of day that this ache happens in my body versus not. Let me look at what I'm eating and see if it flares up with the food or goes down with a certain food. Do you understand the amount of responsibility this takes to take care of this body that you're in? Most people don't want that level of responsibility. They have a headache, they want to take an Advil. Headache could be telling them there's a problem. They don't want to feel it. Advil doesn't get rid of the headache, mind you. What it does is it knocks out the receptive pain receptors so you don't feel what's happening. It doesn't mean it's gone. There's a level of responsibility that you have with the power that you came into this realm to play with. And you came to play. You came to play. You didn't just come to drone along. I mean, again, maybe you did in this lifetime. Maybe you're watching this and this just isn't you this lifetime. I believe in multiple lifetimes. Maybe this lifetime you did come to just like your soul's like, we're just gonna chill. We're just gonna go home and watch reality TV. We're just gonna eat some Takis. We just gonna. That's all we do in this lifetime. Like I'm tired. So this is it's not a judgment, but if you know you came to play, that means that with your power, with your innate, lavish, abundant source energy power that you are embodying, with your power comes responsibility for all of it, for what you're creating in your life, for the energy that you put out into the world, for what you're adding to the collective consciousness. You are responsible for that. And if you're ready to own that responsibility, well now you're ready to really build some abundance. My inner supply instantly and constantly takes on form and experience according to my needs and desires. And as the principle of supply and action, it is impossible for me to have any needs or unfulfilled desires. When you are tapped into and understand that you are the walking embodiment of source energy, there is nothing you need. You have everything. As the principle of supply and action, it is impossible for you to have any unfulfilled desires. It's all here. But again, owning that power and understanding that your inner supply, that you are that, is instantly and constantly taking on form and experience. Your inner supply is instantly and constantly taking on the form of your desires. When you understand that power, then you truly understand your responsibility to it. With great power comes great responsibility. Y'all, that saying nobody makes it unless we all make it is false, because everybody's not gonna make it. Because some people just don't want to. We're not here to save everybody. We're not. We're here to live out the journey of our soul, hopefully to inspire others to do the same and spread the truth of who we are. We're not here to conform. We're not here to make others conform to us. Some people would rather drown in a boat than attempt to swim to shore. But if you're looking to swim, swim. And remember that you are the walking embodiment of divine source energy in human form, which means you have a ton of power because that power is infinite, which means you can create and design the life you want, which means you don't have to wait for somebody else to give you permission to do that. And it also means that you are responsible for your life. No one else is. No one else gets to make the decisions for you, no matter what position or title they may hold. It's your life, your soul, your body. That is day 26. Hopefully the sound came through clear today. Hopefully my earrings aren't clanking. I will see you back here for day 27 tomorrow. Love you. Bye.